Smoking Kaali poster row explodes. Filmmaker refuses to pull down poster. Multiple FIR slapped, outrage peaks.
जो भी माध्यम हैं, उन माध्यमों का इस्तेमाल हमें समाज को जोड़ने के लिए करना चाहिए, तोड़ने के लिए नहीं होना चाहिए.
Actor MP Nusrat calls for restraint.
I would never hurt any religious sentiments or try and mix creativity and religion together.
But her colleague Mahua Moitra backs the Kaali poster.
Kaali to me is a meat-eating, alcohol accepting goddess. To me, that is a version of Kaali.
Artistic freedom versus religious sentiments debate. The smoking Kaali poster row. Top focus on To The Point tonight.
Good evening. You're tuned into To The Point. Here with me, Akshita Nandagopal, and we're tracking the latest updates coming in on the massive controversy over Goddess Kaali, revered by lakhs across the country, being shown smoking a cigarette in a poster that's been released by a documentary filmmaker. Outrage has peaked. There are two versions to this debate tonight. Some saying that you have to have freedom of expression, citing artistic freedom, and on the other hand, about religious sensibilities also being respected. Let's get in our guests on this broadcast. We've got a huge panel lined up for you this evening. I want to begin with Meghna Pant, the author who's joining us on this broadcast. Meghna, good evening. I'm interested to know what really your stand is on this entire poster. You know, many are saying that this is about artistic freedom. But that must be a two-way street, because just last week there's this huge controversy over what Nupur Sharma has said on the Prophet Muhammad. How is that offensive, but this not?
I actually agree with exactly what you're saying. I think what nobody is talking about in this controversy is the solution to this off-race issue, right? This is not the first time it's happened. It's not going to be the last time that there's this tussle between the artist and the censor. And I'm saying this over and over again. Instead of getting into a verbal match, first we have to acknowledge and respect other people's feelings. I understand also the intent of the artists and activists today are very cognizant of the era in which we live, and most of them have self-censored, they exercise restraint. But when someone is choosing to express themselves in a certain manner that they know will offend sensibilities, then they're also willing to pay the price for their art. They are fighting for what they believe is their voice that should not be stifled, but they're also willing to take the privilege with the prejudice. And what's happening today in India that I'm observing is that FIRs and death threats and intimidation or trolling are no longer scaring artists. It's in fact become some sort of a badge of honor, a fight for independence, a way to say instant fame. And I think the only way to stem this, and that's, I want to bring a slightly nuanced, argument into this, is to make a universal law that cuts across religion, caste, socioeconomic status, and where the contours of free speech and creative freedom need to be strictly and narrowly defined, and censorship needs to be made uniform. It should not be a free pass where anyone can say anything without any fear or impunity, because that's not working anymore. It's not fair to attack someone's beliefs.
I think we have to be very clear. Either we're a country that's okay with views on any religion, or we're a country that's not okay with these views.
Exactly.
We can't be okay with one side and get offended with the other. That's exactly what it comes down to. I also want to introduce Manojit Mandal, political analyst, who's joining us on this broadcast as well. Good evening, Manojit Mandal.
Good evening.
What's your view on this entire controversy, particularly on what Mahua Moitra has said? Because that's become a huge issue, with the TMC now saying we had nothing to do with what Mahua said. Easier said than done. She's an MP, member of parliament from the party.
But she has got her own personal right to speak on any subject. So, I mean, definitely I'm not speaking on behalf of the party. But if you talk about the controversy, what is it all about? I want to understand.
Do you personally agree with what Mahua Moitra said?
No, I have not heard what she has said, but apparently what she has, probably, since I was doing a show while she was saying this, the entire speech was not known to me. But she was saying that there is one cult of Ma Kaali where the tantrics and the people who believe in occultism, they do have this kind of practices. Now, if you come back to the, the issue of, this particular poster, first of all, we have not seen the film. What is it in the film, how Ma Kaali is depicted. Apparently it is appearing that an actor is playing Ma Kaali's role and she is being shown as smoking. It's actually an actor performing as Ma Kaali, as far as I could understand. The offensive part of the story is that the person is being shown smoking. That is the problem. The problem, that the fundamental issue is that the woman is smoking. And you know that
she's portraying
yeah.
Ma Kaali, isn't she, Manojit? Are we trying to
Ma
say that
yeah.
it's not Goddess Kaali herself, so it's okay?
So the fact, you can have problem with the poster. I don't have any issue with that. The fact remains that in this country, the gods and goddesses are portrayed comically in many films. Even in recent films, the gods and goddesses are portrayed comically. For the matter, this particular poster appears to me farcical rather than serious. If Ma Kaali is being shown as smoking, it is comical. And that kind of comical
That's the point. Manojit, it's not funny for some. It's offensive for some. And why is there this kind of hypocrisy that on one side, when it comes to one religion, it's offensive, when it comes to the other, it's not. It's considered funny, let's dismiss it, let's brush it under the carpet.
What are you referring to when you say that is not funny for one religion? What are you referring to?
I'm referring to the fact that, Manojit Mandal, we've seen so much controversy over the comments that Nupur Sharma has made on Prophet Muhammad because it hurt religious sentiments. That's simply all that it comes down to. In this case also, that's what it comes down to, that it hurts some people's religious sentiments.
I'll answer. Nupur Sharma was making a public speech. Public speech against a real historical figure. And this is a figment of imagination. You can probably call this is a bad taste.
It comes down, one second, Manojit Mandal, comes down to one point. Again, let me repeat it.
Allow me to finish.
One second, let me repeat it. I will give you a chance. I'll give you a chance. Just a second. I want to repeat that this is about religious sentiments, not what you believe, etc. But stay with me, Manojit Mandal. I promise I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Andrea D'Souza, activist, is also joining us here this evening. Andrea, what's your view on this? Manojit Mandal also went on to comment there saying that, this is more beyond religious sentiments. All right, Deepa Easwar is with us on this. Deepa, you've been very vociferous about this poster. You've said very clearly it's not okay. Manojit Mandal is saying that why are we making such a big deal out of this? This is supposed to be a comical scene. This is supposed to be funny. This poster is supposed to be satire.
Oh, so you are saying that if you come out in the open and you make fun of a divine body, then that's a big problem. But if you can sugarcoat it and call it imagination or a figment of imagination, it's totally okay. How is this both different? Both of them has hurt religious sentiments. How can you, who or what right does anyone have to tell me, not as an activist, but as a common Hindu, to don't feel bad about it, consider it a figment of imagination, sit back and laugh and look at it as a comedy? How dare anyone around me look at my face as a Hindu and tell me it's okay? It's okay to make a problem about somebody talking about Prophet Muhammad, which was absolutely wrong, by the way. But it's okay to make a problem about that because it's an open speech. But here somebody has portrayed something, oh, it's your imagination and you should just sit back and laugh at it. How dare somebody make a judgment like that when both of these incidents are equally hurting religious sentiments? How is it that one person's religious sentiments should be suppressed and looked at as a figment of imagination while the other one has all the rights to protest about it? This is exactly why Hindus are always a soft target, because we are always being advised. The world is an advisory council to the Hindu community telling us, wait, on another debate somebody was telling me, wait, this is only the poster. Maybe the documentary or the film doesn't have anything about it, so wait. Somebody else says, wait for the law to take its course. How long do we wait? So please stop making a fool out of ourselves. Hame bevkoof aur mat banaiye. We have clearly understood that this is not happening in the case of any other community. This happens only in our community. Now the remedy to this is not that it should happen in other communities as well. I don't want this to happen to my Christian and Muslim brothers as well. But the remedy is that we talk about this. The remedy is that we don't give that lady any publicity. This is why I don't take her name in any debates. But we have to talk about this because we have to send across a message that we're irritated, we're agitated, and we're not going to lie back and take whatever is thrown at our face, and we're not going to do that. That message has to go out to the public. Now, I would earnestly request not just the Hindus, but let's all stand together as a nation and boycott this film in its actual sense. I know we've spoken about boycotting other films as well because it's never really happened. But let's actually do it in this case. Let's not give up
Deepa, you made some very, very important points. I want to give Manojit Mandal a chance to respond to those. Manojit?
You need to really give me a chance.
I'm giving you time.
You're allowing her to make a political speech and not allowing me to say anything. I'm speaking merely as an academic, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, in 1861, a very famous poet of Bengal, Michael Madhusudan Dutt, he wrote a poem about Meghna Pant, where Ravana has been shown as hero and Rama is shown as villain. None in this country at that point of time pelted stone at Meghna Madhusudan. Now, ironically, if someone like Meghna Madhusudan Dutt writes a poem about, Ram showing as villain, he will be pelted stone at. That's the way this country is moving. These people are imagining. This is not reality. This is me. There are plenty of such legends where people can imagine. You may not agree with that. You have a counter discourse to that. You counter her. After all, this is a film. And you are comparing a film which is again an artistic work, maybe of bad taste as per you. But you are comparing with a statement by a public figure, responsible public figure speaking on behalf of a political party.
Manojit,
and you are justifying
question.
that. Because
simple question to you.
No,
simple question to you. Is the constitutional right for every citizen the same?
Absolutely. If you talk about constitution, then this doesn't apply because this is happening in Canada, right?
Is the constitutional right of every citizen the same?
Absolutely.
Which is freedom of expression, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're outraging in one case, you outrage in the other as well?
What is your point? I don't understand. Outraging means what? I'm trying to make this point.
Or if you're okay and accommodating of one, you have to be okay and accommodating with the other?
You are talking about an historical figure in a public speech, in a public debate, and this is a figment of imagination.
So you're saying...
No. First, let me say.
Okay.
If you are saying that Nupur Sharma was making a figment of imagination, that was a political art or work of art, fine. Was it like that? Nupur Sharma is a habitual offender. She has a case even in Bengal. She is known for flaring this kind of
communal disarmament. Would you have the guts to do that?
No. First of all, let me. She is known for flaring communal disharmony. She has a case against Bengal.
No, one second, Manojit. Let's not give this filmmaker that we're talking about, Leena Manimekhalai. Have you read about her, Manojit? Have you read about her? She's extremely controversial herself. You look through her social media timeline, you'll see a very, very clear pattern of the kind of posts that she also puts up. Manojit?
Freedom of expression, you need to allow me to speak. Right? You don't practice.
No, I've given you ample time now, Manojit. I've given you ample time to put your point across. I've given you ample time to put your point across. I'll come back to you. But I need to go to my other guests. I've given you enough time now. Khushbu Sundar is also with us. Khushbu, good evening.
And you people don't believe in freedom of expression.
Thank you for joining us. Manojit, just stay on. I will give you a chance to speak again. But let me bring in the other panelists as well. Khushbu, good evening. Nice to have you with us after a long time. Manojit's contention here is that it's right to outrage over what Nupur Sharma said. And in this case, it's a satire. It's a question of an artist's freedom of expression. Do you agree with that?
Definitely not. I would like to remind Mr. Manojit that when he's quoting something which is from the 18th century, that means one particular community or one particular religion has been tolerant for that long time. Please understand. You cannot keep hitting the person time and again and again and again and again and say that, it's okay, just bear with it. Every creative ideas come with great responsibilities. And I come from a creative field. Your freedom of expression, your freedom of speech also comes with great responsibilities as a citizen of this country. As the Constitution says, the rules are the same for everyone, right from the top to the bottom. So you cannot hide yourself behind a pigmentation mind, behind a creative of art, or say that it's my freedom of expression, my freedom to express myself, and say that I'm going to take my freedom of expression for granted. Whatever it may be, showing, depicting Kaali, and let me tell you, Mr. Manojit has been time and again saying that the problem is women smoking. Now, again and again and again, this is not about men or women. This is not about the gender equality. We are discussing a problem which has been faced by one particular community. And I ask you again on this panel, and I have been asking everyone, but nobody dares to answer me. Will the same who have been talking about freedom of expression, whether it's in the name of art or anything else, have the guts and courage, have the spine to get into the minority community and say that it's my freedom of expression and speech, and do the same with any other minority community? Will you have the spine to do that? No, you will not, because there is a sense of fear. Why is that only one particular religion is targeted? And the films which you have been saying time and again in different debates also, they all have depicted Lord Krishna or any Bhagwan for that matter in a very, very positive manner. As far as this documentary is concerned, it's about the actors, their life behind the screen, behind the play, behind what happened in between when they have a stage play. It's about that. And there are many ways. Being a creative person myself, I can give you 10,000 ideas and how to put it across. This is just a way of gaining attention, creating unrest, and it's like seeking very cheap publicity. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. And this woman has been doing it time and again. And I would like to know if she has submitted. How did she go to Canada? Because I remember she saying very clearly in 2013 that I swear I will submit my passport if Narendra Modi ji becomes a prime minister. Has she submitted a passport? I would like to know that. How did she travel to Canada?
You know, you're someone who's from the industry, which is why your perspective also matters about being responsible while using your artistic freedom also, Khushbu, and that's what you've referred to here. Largely, and Manojit Mandal, if you could respond to what Khushbu has said, the word tolerance seems to be misused largely when it comes to one community. That's the messaging that's coming from the likes of Deepa and Khushbu Sundar today.
That's why Hinduism is the most tolerant religion in the world.
Oh.
I'm proud of that.
Oh, please
That's
don't switch. Great.
Amazing.
And that's saying that you guys are doing good. Continue doing what you're doing.
A half sentence. You did not even allow me to complete the half of a sentence. This is your level of tolerance.
No, because you're
This is your level of tolerance. That's why you people are faking.
Exactly. She's been doing it every time. She did it with me also.
If you are real Hindu, believe in the real Hinduism, you should be first tolerant. Hear the other side. Look how you are laughing.
So my question again to you is, will you
say you have no right to ask questions if you don't have the guts to answer.
The same woman have the courage to attack
no right
or
to ask questions if you do not have the guts to listen. You need to listen first. You need to create ear for listening. How can you ask questions if you don't have any guts to listen? I was listening to you for 5 minutes.
You have been going on like a broken record.
You people don't believe in freedom of expression.
One second. Manojit, make your point. Make your point quickly, and then Khushbu Sundar has a question for you directly.
What is her question? What is her question?
Okay, Khushbu, ask your question. Khushbu, ask your question, then directly to Manojit Mandal.
Will any of them or you yourself
half of my sentence you want to listen
Manojit,
to my
one
answer.
second. You asked me to ask the question of Khushbu. Now let her ask her question to you. 1 second. Khushbu, go ahead.
Will Manojit ji or the lady who has made this project, will they have the courage to depict not Kali, but any other god from any other religion, minority religion, and go ahead saying that it's a freedom of expression or my speech or my art? Will they have the courage to do that?
You are not aware of many such films happening in other countries, right?
Sir, I'm talking about India. Sir, I'm talking about India.
There are plenty of novels. There are plenty of novels depicting the religion that you are referring to in a different light. It's a question of tolerance.
What Taslima Nasreen has written, you agree with what Lajja is written about? You agree with what Lajja is written about?
Everyone has read. The book was not banned in this country. Everyone has read.
Have you read it?
What is it? Yes.
Have you read it? Have you
can't
read
ask
it?
this question. I mean, are you a judge sitting on a panel? That's the level of your this. That's why you are a proto-fascist.
Have
You're
you read
behaving
that
like
book?
a proto-fascist.
I'm asking you.
You're behaving like
You
a
don't tell me my
proto-fascist.
level, sir. I may
You
not
will
be.
decide.
I may not.
You
I may not be as
have you
dumb
read
as you
Terry
are.
Eagleton?
No,
Have
no.
you read
Sir,
Stephen Greenblatt?
sir,
Have
my
you read
intelligence
Terry
level is
Eagleton?
enough
Have
for
you
me to
read
bring
Derrida?
me here.
Have you read
Sir,
Derrida?
you
Have
haven't
you read Terry
answered my
Eagleton? Have you read
question.
Stephen Greenblatt? Have you read
Sir,
Jonathan Collins?
One second, we're digressing. We're
What is
digressing
it?
here.
Well, what kind of a
You're
question
not
is this? I mean,
answering my
look at
simple
these
question.
people
The
representing
question
liberalism.
that Khushbu
I
ma'am
mean,
asked was on
look.
behalf
You
of
haven't
Deepa,
Goddess.
Deepa,
answered my
one second, one
simple
second.
question.
What is it? You are exposing yourself that the kind of proto-fascist you are.
Will you be able
Have
to
you
answer
read
my
Terry
question?
Eagleton? Have you
I
read
am talking
Jonathan
about
Collins?
India.
If I
I'm
ask
not
you,
talking about what
you have
happens
not even
in
heard
other
about these
countries.
names. That's the level of your
All right,
education.
sir.
One
Let
second,
me
one second,
simplify
one
the
second.
question.
What kind of a question
No,
is
one
this?
second,
Let me
Manojit,
simplify
just
a
hold on.
question to you.
Manojit, just hold on. Khushbu, it's clear. Khushbu, it's clear. He's saying that this is his answer to you. Deepa Easwar, I'm giving you a chance also to interject here.
She'll get it back.
Sir,
One
sir,
second,
it's
one
very
second.
clear.
Manojit, 1 second. Deepa, go ahead.
What? This is the way
Sir,
you conduct debate.
are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to the words that you're saying? You know, somebody of your stature, there is a clear question asked you, and Khushbu ma'am's voice represents not just the Hindu community, but the nation stands undivided on this particular topic today, and it's a voice of the nation that's asking you, would you dare to sit and actually go ahead and advise the other communities to take this as, I mean, anything against their religion as a figment of imagination, and will you tell them to humor it? Come on, just sit back and enjoy. Would you dare to do it? Please be honest to yourself and to the nation.
That's what I said,
And
that
please
this has
give us
been
the right
done in the
answer.
past.
If you're not going to give us an answer, if you're not going to give us an answer, we'll have to take it and assume that you're just not ready to accept that you will not say this to the other communities, and you will only be turn advisory to Hindu community. And you say that Hindu is very tolerant. You should be proud of it. You guys are doing a good job. Continue doing this. Is that the way of saying that? You guys go ahead and make fun of them, but they're going to be tolerant enough and they'll take it. They'll take it. Is that what you're supposed to give us as an advice? You are supposed to be standing with us and telling us that there is a limit to this. And like Khushbu ma'am said, there is a responsibility. The film, visual media, creativity, all this is a very influential medium. People can look at it and get influenced by a lot of things that's being portrayed through films, documentaries, and people who can be influential in the society. Don't they have a sense of responsibility? Imagination and creativity ke naam pe kuch bhi. I mean, is it like, you know, you send anything out and you can just name it in the term of imagination, and we are sitting on national television and debating that and giving her all the attention. That is the reason why we don't take her name, but we're still discussing her work. So
Manojit,
this is supposed to be... Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
The message from Deepa and Khushbu here is very clear. Let me just sum up for you what they've said, Manojit, and you can give us an answer. It's quite simple. In the name of tolerance, are we expecting that whatever you said, you know, if this is a satire trailer, if this is a satire poster about Ma Kaali, it's okay. If this was depicting a god or a revered personality of another community, would we still be having this debate? Would your stand still be the same? Would you be reacting the way you are right now?
Do you know how to conduct a debate, first of all? Are you having a debate? Do you know? You are allowing them to make political
Mr. Manojit Mandal, you can choose to answer my question or not, sir. That's up to you. That's your prerogative.
Because you don't believe in freedom of expression. You are allowing these two persons to get at me, and if I complete even half a sentence, you are stopping me. That's the level of your tolerance.
I didn't stop you in the last 10 minutes, sir, but go ahead. I'm giving you an opportunity now to speak. I've asked the question directly to you.
You don't know how to conduct a debate.
I have asked, Manojit Mandal, I don't need certificates from you. I don't need certificates from you, sir. I'm giving you a chance to speak right now, and you're wasting the last few minutes of this debate attacking me.
You are conducting a laughable debate. I feel like laughing at you.
Okay, thank you for your certificate, but if you have a point, please make it.
You should get the certificate from me. I'm laughing at you.
Sure. I've got it with me. I've got it with me. Do you have a point to make, sir, on the debate? Do you have a point to make? I'm going to move on to Andrea D'Souza. I'm going to move on to Andrea D'Souza because Manojit Mandal is wasting time on this debate, giving me certificates, etc., which is not what this debate is about. I'll come back to you. I want to give Andrea D'Souza a chance here. Andrea, my apologies. You know, this has been a very heated debate. You joined us a few minutes late, which is why I didn't have a chance to come to you earlier. You've heard what's happened so far, what Manojit Mandal has said, what Khushbu, Sundar, Deepa Easwar, all of them, what Meghna Pant also had to say. What's your view about this?
Okay, first of all,
I don't stand by anybody, neither this, neither that, because I, as being a Hindu, I would not want anyone to insult my God. Yes, exactly. But at the same time, why have we become so intolerant? We have pictures, in the 80s we had pictures like Jaane Bhi Do Yaro, where we had the important Draupadi scene depicted. That time किसी ने ऐसी आवाज नहीं उठाई, कोई ऐसा यहाँ पे बैन नहीं हुआ उस वक्त. ये अचानक आजकल ही क्यों? Why has India become so intolerant? There were movies in the 90s, and in the 90s like Takdeer Wala, where we had Ramraj sitting down and drinking Madura. That time it was all okay. Now it has become a problem. Why? We've had pictures like this, but that time nobody said anything. Nowadays people are becoming so intolerant. Why? That is my question. Nothing else. I am against this. Whether you tell me about smoking cigarette, whether you tell me about anything, I am against everything, because I do not like this. This is not our culture. We know, I mean, I would not promote smoking, so obviously I'm not with the poster. But at the same time, let the film world be. She is not in India, she's in Toronto, and in say if you're talking about minorities having your movies that have been done on minorities, let me tell you, there are movies like Da Vinci Code, there are movies like Silence, which have come out with regards to the church, with regards to the Pope. But have you ever seen the Western world say banned? No, they haven't, because that is an art. Let that
point taken. Andrea, point taken. Worldwide, maybe that's the case. Unfortunately, here in India, there are debates about these issues. It's question of tolerance in one versus another, and that's really what comes down to. I have very little time. One quick ending point, one quick message. Khushbu, Sundar, I see you raising your hand. I'm going to give you one quick opportunity in 10 seconds.
I think when you talk about Da Vinci Code and the films making abroad, please let us understand that there's only one religion they follow. But India, there's a diversity of different languages, different religions and different beliefs. And that is why we have to keep the harmony. You cannot keep attacking one religion time and again. Yes, we have seen what has happened in 80s. Yes, we have seen what has happened in the 90s. But all the way in the humorous manner. I have done films where I've depicted God, but it's been in a very humorous and in a right way. Here, showing something which is going to hurt the sentiments, knowing very well that it's going to hurt the sentiments. I think we need to understand, and we need to have a very clear picture as to where we are heading. It's not about where the country is heading. My country is still harmonious. We still talk about equality. We still talk about
where the country. Okay, one second. Okay, Khushbu, thank you for that last comment. I've completely run out of time. I know this is a debate that can go on and on and on, but we'll leave it to our viewers to decide. Thank all our panelists for joining us this evening on To The Point. This is a debate on tolerance, about religious sensibility being followed in one case, and in another case when it comes to tolerance. And that's what you, the viewer, can decide tonight after listening to all of our panelists as well. Thanks very much for tuning in. Good night.